If you know you could be doing more and you aren't, you should be hard on yourself. And it is a good thing to put yourself in a more pressure situation to where you actually take more action. There is this stigma going around where people are having more grace on themselves. They are allowing themselves off the hook. I see people who are on diets. They give themselves grace when they mess up. They're like, oh man, it's just a bad day. I'm going to just let it off the hook and then be better tomorrow. Or people who are running their business. They say that they want to be financially free. And then a year later, they are still in the same position and they're just like, man, it takes time. You got to have patience. And that, I think, is the dumbest thing ever. Because that attitude of letting yourself off the hook is exactly why you are stuck in your life. And it is exactly why you will stay stuck until you actually put the hammer down on what you need to do. It's not a bad thing to expect more of yourself. It's not a bad thing to put some pressure on yourself to act in a higher regard. Because I was realizing today, for my own life, I'm not satisfied with where I'm at. I'm not satisfied. I was hitting legs today and I had no energy. I was like, man, I don't got the energy for it. I skipped reps on squats and I almost walked out. And I had to ask myself, like, where do I want to go? Like, who do I want to be in a year? And the answer to that question was, I want to be further, right? I want to be stronger than I am today. And I'm not going to get there by skipping reps on squat. I'm not going to get there by walking out early. So I went back and I hit more of a workout. I actually progressively overloaded on some of the equipment, on some of the machines. But even then, I was so dissatisfied with myself because I have been stuck at like a 385 back squat for about 4 months. I hit 315 on bench and then I haven't gone up since then. And I'm dissatisfied with myself because I know my potential is so much higher than I can even think or imagine, but I'm not going to get there by just being passive, by just coasting along. And I really want to speak this message to you because if you want to be more, I'm not speaking to the people who don't care about their lives, who just want to coast. If you want to be more, like if you want to run that business, if you want to be in shape, if you want to be someone that actually utilizes their life, you can't be easy on yourself, man. You can't be easy on yourself. And, you know, a lot of people think that you can be successful while still having this great attitude with yourself, which is, it's true when you're living in alignment. But listen, man, to be successful, you have to sacrifice. To be successful, you have to go without the things that are enjoyable for a time. Listen, man, if you want to build that business, there's no Friday night parties. If you want to get in shape, there's no crumble cookie on Saturday. There's no cheat day for weeks on end. There's just the work. And if you're messing up with that, man, you have to be hard on yourself. You can't let yourself down. And you have to ask yourself, where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? And if that answer is someone greater and you're not acting that way, you need and you deserve to come down on yourself. Because I want to give you permission to do that. The world's told you, be kind, be nice to yourself, allow yourself off the hook. If you want to be average, then do that. But if you want to look back on your life and you want to be happy with who you are, you want to be pleased with how you look, you got to be harder. And that's not a bad thing. That's not some self-hatred. That's the most loving thing you could do for yourself. Because I was thinking today, you know, I've had a lot of business growth. I've had a lot of fitness growth. I'm pretty happy with, you know, who I've become, like who I've became. You know, I've been able to bench 315, deadlift 500. I run a 5-figure coaching business. Awesome. I'm on track to do 5 figures in a month this year. Awesome. And that's not to boast and that's not to brag. That's just to share that I have progressed, because when I started this business, I made $100 in a month, right? And then not even a year later, I've been able to reach multiple 4 figures a month. And I just realized that, man, with the time I've had, the days I've had that are open, I'm full time, man, I should be further. I should have been benching 315 for reps by now. I should have 10, 20, 30 more clients under my belt, and I don't. And I need to come down on myself for that, because when you have standards that are high, your action should not be low. When you have standards that are bigger than those around you, you're not supposed to fit in. You're not supposed to act like the crowd. When you have standards that are bigger than the friends around you, you're not supposed to be like them. They're not supposed to get it. Man, you're supposed to be a little weird. You're supposed to be a little crazy. You're supposed to be a little obsessed. When others look at you and say, bro, you're good, like, have a day where you go get some Qdoba with us. Or I guess it's not horrible, but like, have a day where you go get some crumble. Have a day where you spend some time with us and you're out later. Have some time where you take a break from this. No, man, no. If you want that business success, if you want that fitness success, stop giving yourself this freedom from the hook. Stop it. Because you know a year from now, the life you're living isn't going to amount to the life you want. What you're doing right now is giving yourself what you want subconsciously. It's not what you want, but like right now in your internal brain, or I guess just in your human animal, I would say, is what it wants, right? It wants that quick dopamine. You want to live in homeostasis, but here's the thing. We don't stay in homeostasis a year from now when we're looking back on hindsight. Right? When we're looking back in reflection mode, we're going to see areas where we could be better. And think about who you are currently and your future self a year from now. When they're looking back on you today, are they going to be disappointed? Are they going to be mad? If so, man, bring that attitude today, because then you're just saving yourself a year of pain. You're saving yourself a year of this hardship. And I'll tell you this right now, like, Christians need to be harder on themselves too. Like, I'm going to share something personal. Like, I was living in sexual sin a couple months ago. I had a girlfriend and I wasn't obeying God. I was falling to my lust. And man, you're not supposed to be kind to yourself in the sense of you just let yourself off the hook. It's one thing to have grace and be like, man, I messed up. I'm sorry that I did that to myself, and I'm mad that I messed up, and I'm going to be better tomorrow. And it's another thing when you're like, man, I messed up. I'm just going to go the extra step now because I already failed. Like, that attitude is what makes you fail in life, and it's what causes you to be a loser. And there are losers in life, and the loser is not someone who fails a couple times. It's the person who gives up after they fail, right? The person who says they're going on a cut and then stops 3 months in because it got too hard. The person who started a business and then stopped because the business model doesn't work. That's someone who is losing because they didn't actually fulfill their vows. To tie into my other point with living in sexual sin, like, when I was living in sexual sin, I was letting myself off the hook. And looking back, like, I just have this regret, like this disdain for myself. Not in the sense of shame, but in the sense of guilt. Shame is what the perceptions of others do to you. So you're looking at other people's view of you through their lens, right? Guilt is your own laws that you broke. So I was feeling guilt because I broke my own standards. And I didn't actually put the foot down. And I have that regret because now, man, I have to live with that. Like, I have to bring that into, hopefully, when I get married, I'm going to have to tell my wife about my past. And that's not something that's going to be enjoyable. It's not something that I'm going to like doing. And I have to admit the fact that I failed, that I did sin, and that, you know what, I needed to be better. And I'm mad that I messed up. And that's not something you just let yourself off the hook for. It's something that you have to bring down on yourself and figure out, how can I be better through this? Because if you don't, man, you're going to keep living the same Monday cycle. If you keep letting yourself off the hook, every Saturday night, you're going to drink the beer, you're going to eat the crumble, whatever that thing is for you. I'm just using fitness as an example because it's something I've experienced for the past 3 years. But this is not just that. It's if you have a toxic relationship that you keep letting them off the hook, you're not putting up boundaries. If you keep letting yourself off the hook financially, you keep going out and spending your money on stupid stuff, you deserve to come down, and you need to come down on yourself, because if you don't, you're going to keep living in this cycle. And guess what? If you keep living in this cycle, you're going to be the same. You're going to be the same next year, 2 years, 3 years from now. And if that's not what you want, you need to change today to get something different, because nothing changes if nothing changes. And I just want to come down on those out there who are high performers, because you've been doing great. You're past the average, but man, we're not trying to be average anymore. We're not trying to be like good. We're trying to be our best, and we have to admit the fact when we're not. It's cool, man. You've been in the gym. You've been turning it up a notch. You're hitting it hard. You're growing. But dude, I see those days when you're failing. I see those days where you let yourself off the hook, when you just start doom scrolling because you think you deserve it. Man, no. You're doing great, and maybe you need to hear that. Maybe you need to hear that you're doing great, but that doesn't give you the pass and the free will to start self-sabotaging. It doesn't give you the ability to start cheating on your diet. It doesn't give you the means to go out on a Friday night and miss your business work. It doesn't give you the means to start lusting at women. You are where you are right now because of the actions you've been taking consistently. But if you want to get to that next level, man, you have to change some things. You're going to have to come down on yourself. You're going to have to fix the holes in the bucket. This isn't about being good anymore. This is about being your best. And you know your best is still out there. I was just feeling passionate to share this because there are high performers out there. And you need to hear that. If you can do more, you need to do more, and you need to come down on yourself to do that, because you're not going to get there by letting yourself off the hook. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe for more, because here on the No Frank channel, my mission is to help build you into the person that God has always created you to be, to help you actually fulfill God's purpose here on earth. Follow along. Let's build together. Now go out and kill the day.